I think it's sometimes the perception of, as far as women in barbecue, sometimes it's, oh, we are the spouse, and so we just tag along because we don't have anything else to do. We're just there to make a box and to turn in a box. But when you talk to most of the spouses or females as part of this team, we are so much more in barbecue. The tough part about KCBS is there's one pitmaster that's listed for a team. And that's really difficult because there's so many female pitmasters out there that we're not the head cook for a team, but could we be head cook of a team? Yes. Do we do as much as our spouses or our teammates? Yes.
Listen, learn, get inspired. I'm Tavis Bryant, and this is Barbecue Therapy. Like, subscribe, and follow to help grow the barbecue therapy community. Also, visit my website at www.barbecuetherapypodcast.com.
We gon' have barbecue, your barbecue on. Get your barbecue on. Get your barbecue on.
Welcome to the Barbecue Therapy Podcast. My name is Tavis Bryant, and everybody sees the trophies, they see the pitmaster, they see the moment your name gets called, but what they don't see is the person holding everything together when it's falling apart. Today's guest lives in that space. Kim Darnell, aka the Literal General, part of Old Virginia Smoke. But let's get one thing clear right now. She's not behind the team. She's part of the reason the team exists. And today we're talking about the side of barbecue most people never hear about. Miss Kim, welcome to Barbecue Therapy. I got one rule: make yourself at home and speak freely.
Thank you. I'm excited to be on your show.
I definitely appreciate it. I want to start off, I always start from the beginning. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? And how was the food scene in your house growing up?
I was born up near Rochester, New York. That's where my mom and dad were both from. And then when I was about third grade, and then I kind of grew up in Southern California. So two very different areas: farm country of upstate New York, and then beach country, Orange County, Southern California. My mom was Italian, and so I grew up in an Italian family with a lot of food and a love of food. And then my dad was always somebody that was in the backyard grilling all the time.
Oh, wow. And what did he grill? Just,
Everything. I mean, it was steaks and burgers, not so much barbecue, but just your typical grilling, chicken and pork chops and steaks and burgers.
okay. And how did you end up in Virginia?
um, I know it's very odd. My dad, he used to work for Xerox, and then he worked for NASA for some time.
Oh, wow.
So because he was a computer guy, we moved a lot growing up, and so it was. And I'm very thankful that we did, because I really got to experience a lot of different areas, different cultures, different food scenes. And so I always appreciate the fact that I got to see all of that growing up, because I know that they didn't get that opportunity. They grew up in upstate New York their whole life until we moved to Southern California.
And what part of your upbringing shows up most in how you operate today as a whole?
I grew up, and my whole family, we grew up playing sports. And my dad always had that adage, hey, I don't care if you're down, it doesn't matter. Rub some dirt on it, keep going. So I think that philosophy really helps in barbecue, because you do get knocked down more times than you're standing up on stage with a trophy. So I think that resiliency of just, you know what, if you work hard and you really have passion and you love what you do, just keep on moving and keep going. And a mantra that we have in our trailer is, you know what, if we're having fun, we're going to keep doing it. As soon as
Mm,
it stops being fun, we're done. And we're
yeah,
not done yet. We're still having a lot of fun.
I gotta ask the follow-up question. What sports did you play?
Oh gosh, I was a lot. I was volleyball, softball, track, gymnastics, primarily.
Oh, wow.
I was one of those. I played a sport every single season in high school and in middle school, because I just thought it was fun, and I like things to be very quick paced. So that's why I love sports.
Wow, learn something new. All right. From your point of view, we heard from Luke before, but how did competition barbecue enter your life? Because I know you were the one that brought it to him, correct? So, what's your version?
I am. So I'm a school counselor by trade, and so at the time I was working in elementary school. And one day I walked in, and our attendance secretary, actually she was our bookkeeper. I said, "Hey, how was your weekend?" She said, "Oh, my husband was cooking some barbecue in the backyard." And I said, "Hey, mine was too. What was he cooking?" And we talked about it. And she said, "Oh, my husband's on a barbecue team." And I was like, "Really? Tell me more about this." And as she was explaining, she was talking about Kansas City Barbecue Society and said, "Hey, we're looking for somebody to be on the team. Would your husband be interested?" So if I hadn't have had that just random conversation, we never would have known about KCBS. He never would have joined that team. We never would have branched off and had our own team.
How did Luke take it when you came home? Like, I don't want to hang around him. How did he react?
He was just very inquisitive, just very much. I'm curious about this. I want to know more about it. So I connected them, and that's how everything got started. It was just, "Hey, I'm really interested and curious, and I love to barbecue in my backyard, and teach me about what this KCBS is about." And never in a million years did we think that it was going to give us, all of this whole
Exactly.
entire new portion of our lives.
So when he was getting started, do you imagine what it was going to be, or you had no idea?
I really didn't have the idea of the depths that it was going to take us and the roads it was going to lead us down, but very thankful that it did. Basically, what we wanted to do was just go out there, learn about it. Yes, you always want to go and do your best, but we really wanted to just go out there and meet people and see what we could pick up. And we always want to improve because as barbecuers, yes, you're technically competing against other people, but honestly, you're really competing against yourself. Every single time you go out there, it's what did I do last time and how can I improve upon it the next time? So we just kept that throughout all of the years is what can we do to improve what we're doing and that we're tuning in something that we're happy and that we're proud with.
Yeah. And when he said he wanted to start his own team, were you 100% behind him being out there all the
One
time?
100% we were behind. So at the time, our friend Leanne Terry, she was a part of our team, and he would always be cooking in our backyard. And the one thing he cooked really well from the start, which is really strange for somebody starting out with barbecue, was brisket. He had that really well nailed down right from the beginning. And so we said, "Hey, we love what you cook. We're in it with you 100%. Let's go in and see what we can do."
Well, that's strange for that area of the world up
I
north.
know, right? Yeah, exactly. And he knew how to cook brisket, and we said, "Hey," of course, we look like the Beverly Hillbillies coming on in with WSMs in the back of the car, and I have all the gadgets and everything that we needed. And we thought, and then just the people that we got to meet and all of the information we got to pick up on. Sometimes just sitting and listening to people and what they're doing and what they love to do makes it so much fun. And the fun gets you into it, and the family aspect keeps you going the whole time.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. That's what sucked me into just the people. I haven't competed
Yes,
yet. I just walked around, but I'm hooked because the people are so nice. It's like, is this real or is this not real? But
I know, right? Right. And we always talk about when we first started doing this, we'd say our barbecue friends. We stopped cutting out barbecue friends because they are our friends now. And we love being able to go out and see them. And we love seeing people outside of barbecue and
yeah,
just being like, "Hey, let's get together," or "Let's go camping. Let's get together wherever we are," or "Hey, let's meet in a neutral location so we can just catch up." Yes, we talk about barbecue the whole time mostly, but 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 it's also gone beyond that too.
the kids and different stuff. So that's what I like about it. And me doing this podcast, I try to be different from other people. I get out and do the legwork, meet people, shake hands, and find out about them, and show that hey, I'm interested in who they are, not just the interview, but the person. I want to meet people and be friends with them and all that, and just hang out because I love it. It's like a different experience because what caught me was Mark Bayless from Blues Hall.
Yes,
We went,
Marky
me and
B.
my yeah, and me and my wife went to Memphis in May in 2023, and we were just standing out in the back, and came to us out of the blue, out of everybody standing there, and just started talking to us. What did at the beginning? What did barbecue require out of you that you wasn't expecting at the beginning?
Well, one thing I'm a very organized person. I'm very type A. I like to have my lists and everything. And so I guess I wasn't expecting as much preparation at first. I didn't realize how much preparation really went into it. Because at the beginning, Luke was very involved in getting everything together and packing things up. And then we were realizing he was starting to take on a little bit too much. And then it was tough to be able to focus on the cook.
Hmm.
So I think once we realized, wow, we really kind of have to have things organized and know exactly what we need to do. And we need to have a timeline, make sure we know exactly what's happening at what and what specific points in the cook. So I think that level of organization we weren't quite sure about at first. That was a little shocking.
Do you remember your first comp? How did that go?
Yeah. Our first comp is unfortunately a competition that's no longer there, but it was in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and it was called Barbecue Jamboree. And I remember we had packed tents and we were as far away from turn-ins as we could possibly get. And I remember us cooking there, and we went on a Thursday and we wanted to meet people. And I remember and Luke and our friend Leanne always would play guitar. So we were just sitting in our site playing guitar, and then this one gentleman, his name's Mike Palmer, he came over and he said, "Hey, you play guitar?" And we thought we were bothering them. We were like, "Oh my gosh, we're so sorry. We didn't mean to be playing really loud. We'll stop if you want us to." And then he said, "No." He goes, "Take those guitars, come over here and come and meet some of the best people in barbecue."
Oh wow.
And we learned a lot from them and just talking with them. I remember being super thrilled that we were our best we did, I think, was tied for 12th place in chicken. We didn't get a call, and back then that competition was like 100 teams. So to tie for 12th place in chicken, our first time out, we were completely thrilled, and we had so much fun meeting people, talking with people, that again you get hooked. And then of course you get super hooked when you finally hear your first call. That's when you're like, okay, you're in 100%. You're not going back. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Exactly. All right. And do you remember the moment where it shift from something we just do to this is part of our life and we we all in?
I I think when because at first we were like, oh, we'll just do 5 competitions. And that first year we did 10. And then I think you start to really realize you're into it when you keep adding comps and you're looking at the KCBS website
Mm,
and you're going, oh, hey, I've never heard of this one. This is a new one. Or, oh, we should add this one to the list. And then before you know it, you have 20 for a year. And then before you know it, you have 30. And then that's when you realize, wow, I'm really into it. And then also when you start looking at and you start taking classes, when you see and you start and then maybe you get a sponsor here or there, or you start to pick up a certain tip, then you realize, wow, this is more than just, okay, I'm going to go every now and again and cook for the weekend. And or then when you're looking forward to seeing your friends,
is that-
then you're like, okay, we're 100% in.
yeah, exactly. All right, I'm gonna slow this part down and we're gonna get a run through of your duties. Can you walk me through the competition week, what you do strictly on the week, and then what you do on the weekend from your side?
Was just doing it before I came to sit down with you. So our roles have shifted a little bit because, again, I'm a school counselor. Luke used to be a lobbyist. So now he does barbecue full time. So he is a little bit more of a flexible schedule. So things have shifted a little bit since then, for the past 5 years. So basically, I'm the person that is always keeping inventory of what our supplies are. So I'm always letting him know what we need to order, what we're low on. I'm always the one that packs the spice bin. So I'm the one that puts all of the rubs together, all of the finishing powders, all of the other ingredients that go along with our cook. I put together all of our sauces and all of our injections. So that's something that I'm always doing. He's usually doing. I used to buy all the meat, but now he does that. He does most of the trimming. So that's my part, and then that's his part of what we're usually doing. We're usually both sharing responsibilities of packing things up in the trailer, making sure that we have everything that we need.
Mhm.
I'm usually packing things like towels and other things we need in the trailer, all that different stuff. So I definitely have my role, and he has his role.
Okay. And what are your responsibilities on the weekend as far as
Keeping him in line, everybody knows that. No, no. I mean, basically, my job when I get there is I'm mixing injections, I'm putting everything out, when it's cook time, I'm waking up and I'm running all 4 drums. That's what I'm doing. I'm constantly checking. I'm doing fire management. I'm checking to make sure that the color is right on everything. I'm making sure that everything we're staying on the timeline, and then just making sure that everything is running smoothly. So I'm kind of doing the outside part, and he's doing the inside part. That's pretty much how the cook is going. I do the boxing of everything, so I'm the one that's cleaning everything up, putting things in the box.
Mhm.
I'm the primary taster. We both taste. Please don't get me wrong. We both do that, but he always says, he goes, Kim, you have a really good palate for this. You're really good at knowing if something's too sweet, if we need salt, we need to add more finishing powder. Speak, so that's pretty much my role too. And then I'm the one that's usually boxing it, and then I'm taking it into the judges.
From what Luke said, that you're an excellent chicken cook. How did you get to start doing chicken?
It started because we had the Jambo, and then we were like, and we were at one point we were the chicken team of the year. I think that was 2016. We were chicken team of the year, and we were doing everything on the Jambo. And then all of a sudden, the next year, man, our scores tanked completely. And we're like, all right, we need to change things around. So we decided to start cooking on a can and trying it out.
Mhm.
And I said, I'd be happy to run the chicken can. I would like to do that. And that's how that got started. And and I loved it. I got a little baby drum, and I love working. I love being able to work the drum, playing around with the paddles, figuring out the temperature and what works. And then last year, when we decided not to cook on the Jambo and do 100% on the drums,
Mhm.
I said I'd be happy to run the drums. I really enjoy that part. I like sitting outside. I mean, at the Royal, it was freezing cold. You were there
Yeah.
with us, and it was so cold that at that point I was like, "Oh wow, okay, I asked for this, and boy, did I get it."
Yeah, definitely freezing.
Yeah, it was cold. Yeah. So yeah, so now it basically it started with the success of doing well with the drum with chicken to now doing all 4 meats.
It sounds good. All right. And when you're in the truck, are you more focused on logistics, timing, or just reading the situation and just flowing wherever needed?
Yes, 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 all those things. Basically, yeah, we're looking at all of those things. I'm definitely always looking at the timeline, making sure we're hitting our marks. Always checking because something always can pop up, depending on humidity, depending on temperature, depending on how charcoal is burning that day, or anything that's happening. Looking at checking color, checking tenderness. I think we need to pull a little bit early because it's getting a little darker than we normally would have at this point. So we're definitely, and we're looking at all of those
Mhm.
factors because every cook and every piece of meat is going to be different. So you're always having to check and recheck. And that's very much a team effort. We do a lot of things to really together as best we can.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Do you ever have to adjust how you communicate with Luke depending on how the cook is going?
We do. Yes, yes. And I think we do that for each other. We know when we need to kind of bring a little bit more energy or when we kind of have to hold it back a little bit. Because one thing that people don't know about Luke, I mean, he cares a lot about barbecue. He really does. He might seem like Mr. Fun Guy and I'm out there dancing and I'm having a good time, but he really cares. He cares about barbecue. He cares about what we do. And he just cares about the sport in general, which is why he decided he was the MABA president for several years. And that's why he decided to be a part of the board for KCBS. So sometimes when I realize he's getting really stressed, I have to say, hey, you know what? Let's have fun. This is just barbecue. Even though I know you care about it and we want to do well and we want to do our best, this is just barbecue and let's take it back a notch or let's talk a little, let's just quiet things down a little bit. Sometimes we know when that volume of the barbecue playlist needs to go up or when we have to turn it off and just talk things through.
What separates a good support person from a great one in competition barbecue?
I would say anticipation. You always just have to be ready, like knowing what the next step is going to be. And that's what I will do for him. And that's definitely what he does for me because he supports me in what I do. If I'm sitting outside and I'm running the cans, he's going to be like, hey, is there something that you need right now? And so I think it's the anticipation and definitely communication and not being afraid to be honest because neither one of us want to blow sunshine about what, oh, this cook is great and everything's going well when I'm not really feeling that way. So I think it's just being honest and being quick and on your toes of what needs to change. There's sometimes that it's like, Do I think it might be a little bit salty, and there might be times I'm even battling within myself. Is that something I should tell him, or is that just me? Am I just thirsty and I'm feeling like it's too salty? But I think it's just being honest.
Yeah, and that helps a lot. Trying to spare the person's feelings and then wind up losing the contest because you're trying to be nice and.
Yes, and no, yeah, and that's what we had to learn a long time ago is just be 100% honest with what we have going on at that moment.
Do you think if you and Luke reverse roles, could you do everything that he do and he do everything you do?
We always joke about that. He always teases. He's like, "You know what?" He goes, "Kim, if for some reason like I was sick or whatever, or I couldn't do this," he goes, "I know that you could go and pick up and do exactly what I'm doing." There's parts that I would probably struggle with just because he does it more than I do, or that's where his area of expertise is. But yeah, I mean, he absolutely big detail well, I'm more of the small detail person where he's the big thinker person. So for him, organization, he is an organized person when he wants to be, but sometimes that's an area where he struggles a little bit. But I think we definitely could switch roles if we needed to.
I believe so
Yeah,
too.
I think so. Yeah, I think we could. Do I want to do that? No, because we have almost 15 years of doing it a certain way. But if push comes to shove, and there was almost a time that we had to because we were cooking. Gosh, it was Urbana. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. He ended up getting really sick after one meets, and he turned to me and he goes, "Kim, I don't know if I could cook tomorrow." And he goes, "Are you up for it?" And I'm like, "Yep, we're here. Let's go. We'll do what we need to do. I might not place, might not do well, might surprise you, but I'm willing to try."
You pulled off a GC.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like I was like, I will try my best. That's all I can. That's all that I can do, and that's all that anybody can ask of me is I'll do my best and see what happens. Luckily, he was fine the next morning. I think he had a small allergic reaction to something, and then he was fine the next day. I was doing a little bit of a shoo because I really didn't want that responsibility, but if I had to, I totally would, and he would totally do that for me too.
And let's talk about desserts. Your dessert score very big. How was that skill picked up? Was it picked up growing up, or did you just learn it as you went along, or how did that come about?
Definitely growing up. My mom was a fantastic cook in all aspects, and she taught me how to cook and she taught me how to bake. And I enjoy doing the ancillary categories. I think that they're fun. Some are very elusive for me. Like I try to do a good dessert. I don't think I've ever gotten a dessert call without other people helping and supporting me or offering suggestions for things. But I do like to cook. I do like doing anything but. Like in Washington, D.C., there's lots of ancillary categories, steak, and we like to do all of those types of things. But yeah, definitely, again, my mom was a really good cook, and then my dad was a good griller. So I think that really helped to have that.
Okay. And what do you think is y'all greatest achievement in barbecue? Because y'all didn't want a lot of stuff, so and it doesn't have to be a trophy. It could be something that happened or anything.
A big dream that really came true was last year when we GC'd the Open at the Royal. That was a really big accomplishment for us because we had, especially after switching from the Jambo and being able to go to cans. Really a big one also was the World Food Championships. That really meant a lot because it was cooking the four meats and then having to cook something totally different the very next day, having to switch and pivot really
Mm,
fast. So that was something that we were really proud of. And I think what is also something that has just been a big motivator for us, again, is just how can we keep getting better at what we're doing? And that's where that love and that passion just keeps coming in every single time is how can we just keep going? And it's tough when you've done it this long. We're not cooking anything close to what we used to do years ago. What used to go would be really popular back then is not what people are doing now. And so constantly having to adapt. I think that that's something that I'm really proud that our team has done too, is that we just keep switching. It's like, hey, we've got to switch with the times. I think judges are liking this more, and I think we need to try this. And we're not afraid to be able to try something different if we need to.
okay, okay. And what's something in competition barbecue, if added or adjusted or taken away, would make a big difference?
I think That I know. Such a tough question. Sometimes I think what would be helpful if there was a little bit more where there was more with the judges and the cooks and the reps all together. Sometimes I feel like there can be a divide within those three factions, and I don't feel like there necessarily needs to be. I mean, we're all doing it because we have a love of barbecue and we love being out there and seeing people and being a part of everything. So I think if there was something that we could bring everybody a little bit more together and understand what it's like in everybody's job doing that. I think that would be a little bit helpful. Do I know exactly how that would look? Not necessarily, but I think that it could sometimes be helpful if we could do that. And I do see that more. Like, for example, like this weekend, we're going to have a judge cook with us.
Mm.
And that's something that we really like to do. We've had lots of judges cook with us, and we'd love to do that so they can understand what we're doing, and then we're understanding what they're doing. Even though Luke and I are judges, we don't get to go out and do it as much as we might like to be able to do it because we'd honestly rather be cooking. That's our first passion. But anything that we can do to kind of bridge that gap, I think would just be really, really beneficial for everyone.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it's like to run a contest. No idea. I mean, I see friends and I talk to them, but really the logistics of it, that's something I'm unaware of. And I would like to know more about that. That's something that Luke and I constantly talk about. He's like, I'd like to run my own contest. And I'm always like, shh, no, stop, no, can't add anything. We cannot add anything else to our list of things to do. But eventually, I think we would probably go that route.
Yeah, I mean that sounds fun, and I think that I'm a judge for GBA down here in Georgia, but sometimes I think it'd be like the judges versus the cooks because I don't know, some of them might be trying to prove a point as a judge, some of them be unfairly harsh, but they
Right.
don't know the full process of what the cook's going through. You just spent a thousand
Hmm.
dollars on meat and then been out in the hot sun and cooking and all that just to have somebody insult what you just did and not be reasonable with the
Hmm.
criticism of what you did. And I think that's
Right.
fair.
Right.
And
Yeah, yes, and speaking of judges, one thing that you just like sparked something I've said before is I think that judges should cook with teams before they are going to be. Like, I know sometimes they wait until I've cooked so many and I'm gonna be a master judge and then I'm gonna cook with the team. I feel like if that happened earlier, I think that that would bridge that gap and there would be more of that connection right away from the beginning. And I think maybe okay, you judge 10, maybe that's the point that hey, before you start doing more, you go cook with the team and know what it's about.
exactly.
And I think that that would be helpful, and I think also it should be like that with teams. Okay, you've been cooking so many times, I think at least once in your career of being a pit master and being a team is having somebody be in there. You learn a lot from a judge by having them sit in your trailer and have them taste your food and have them watch what you're doing.
Mhm.
I mean, it's really a symbiotic relationship where you can learn so much from each other that sometimes I think if it encourage a little bit, and I do think KCBS encourages it, but I think maybe if we kind of maybe said, okay, if you only do this many, then we need to start doing this on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, when you judge, you get to try everybody else's food to see how you match up against the other people and what flavors they're bringing and stuff like that. So it's also helpful
Yeah,
from that end, also.
it is. When we first started doing barbecue, we that was the first thing we did before we cooked any competition. We we were certified and we judged several times. So we did have an idea before we started to get out there and do it ourselves.
Yeah. And the next area I want to go into is working with your spouse. You're
Sure.
not just teammates, you're married, so that changes everything. So, what's something that you had to get adjusted to when y'all started competing together, as far as both of y'all being in the same trailer?
It honestly happened pretty naturally. So you were in the trailer with us. I mean, when we don't fight. We very rarely fight in our trailer. I mean, we might disagree about something, but we don't fight. I mean, I really think it there wasn't a lot of hurdles that happened. I think maybe the biggest thing was just what are our roles going to be? That was that I think the hardest part of who's going to do what. Because I think at the beginning he was trying to take on so many responsibilities. And then we realized, hey, you know what? We need to divide this out a little bit more. Let's talk about this is what you're really good at doing, and this is what you're really good at doing, and let's stick with that.
And I mean, as well as being married, y'all already know each other and how each other flow. So it's easy to work because y'all together all the time. And it's not like someone that a stranger that you have to get used to or know their mannerisms.
Exactly, and we can sometimes say, "Hey, go get this." Where it's if it's somebody else in the trailer, "Hey, can you go please get that for me? Thank you, I appreciate that." Sometimes I mean, sometimes you don't have time for that, and we know it's like, "Hey, if I'm asking for something, if I need something, hey, I need you to grab so and so," and we know that we don't have to worry about that. And sometimes we do things without even having to talk to each other. I think that's a good thing because we're spouses,
Mm.
and also because we've done it so many years together that sometimes we just know what's going to happen. I'll start putting something out that I know he's going to need, or he's going to come out and he's going to check on me at a certain point because he knows that's what I'm going to need. So I think that's what helps by being a spouse and a teammate at the same time is sometimes there's just no verbal communication.
Yeah.
It's all the nonverbals.
All right. And what's something that Luke do well as a teammate that most people don't see?
He is really good at listening. And he's really good at that. I mean, he's good at taking criticism. He's really good at listening to what other people are saying. He really is good at just at paying attention of what's going on. Like I said, he can be Mr. I'm out there, I'm having fun and I'm dancing and I'm playing my songs on the playlist. But when it's time and he needs to focus, he's really good at focusing on what he needs to do, calming down, and really just being in the moment when he needs to be. Sometimes I don't think people see that part of him. They see the fun Luke, and he is definitely fun Luke all of the time. But he has that ability to be able to really laser focus in when he needs to.
And that throws people off because they just think he's playing around all the time, but they don't see the actual inside the truck and how y'all operate. They probably get it
Yeah,
twisted and catch them by
we'll sit
surprise.
with some. Yeah, I mean, we'll sit in the trailer, and sometimes I'll come out and I'll walk back in, and he's just kind of doing a little meditation. And that's something that I don't think people would ever think about about him. They're just thinking, oh, he's goofing off. And yes, we have fun. You've been in our trailer, 100%. We have a good time. But but sometimes there's those quiet moments, and they might not notice that about him.
Exactly.
He's very passionate. Yep.
This is y'all. This is what he do 100% of the time. So you can't be in there
Hmm.
goofing off as well as winning the contest. You also has to, as far as sponsors and getting attention elsewhere. So if they don't see the results, a lot of the
Hmm.
sponsors and stuff will turn away, but the results are there and it shows. Y'all wouldn't be having the results y'all do if you wasn't taking it serious inside the trailer. So as well as y'all keep it
Yeah.
fun and loose, because at the end of the day, even though it's a contest, y'all out there to meet, have fun, and enjoy. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And it takes that balance. You have to have the balance of everything.
mm,
And not just in your flavors and on the barbecue with relationships in the trailer, relationships with other people, and sometimes having that time for yourself when you need to just reflect on things.
when it comes to socializing with people, I don't like where some people won't speak to people, or if you see somebody new, they won't talk to them or say hello when they pass by, but they want people to buy their products or be a fan of theirs, but they don't take the time to socialize or just say hello. It doesn't take much to say how you doing.
No, not at all. And that was a big part of us when we first got started is that he's like, I want to meet people. I want to talk to people. I want to see what they're up to and what's going on. And it's so great that when we go to a cook site, again, unfortunately he gets there earlier than I do because of my job. Sometimes I'm rolling in on a Friday night, and then sometimes we're cooking Saturday. But I always try to be able to get around sometimes and say hi to people or talk to people as best I can. And luckily he can do that for us because he's going to be there a little earlier. He loves to walk around and be able to talk to backyard teams, especially new teams. Love to be like, hey, come on over. If you have a question, come and ask. We'll help you as best we can. If there's something you need, we know what it was like. It wasn't that long ago that we were the new kid on the block. And we want you to continue to love this and have a passion just like we do. We always try to go around and talk to people. And we always love to pick a new state to go to every
Mhm.
time we compete every year. And that gives us an opportunity to meet people that we've never met before. Last year we did Idaho for the first time, and
Mm.
we got to meet the team Meat Candy Q from California, Southern California, and we never had an opportunity. And now they are great friends of ours, and we communicate all the time.
And that's what I love about him. He's so social. That's why I told him when I came to American Roar, I just want to shadow you and walk around and meet folks because I like how you do that. It makes even the newest person or international team feel special that okay, this guy's a world champion and he took the time to come over to speak to me and make me feel important and make me feel wanted. It means a
And I
lot.
will It does. It does. And I will say that is one of Luke's great skills. He will make you feel like the most important person in the room. And it's genuine. It's not airs, it's not anything he's making up. That's just Luke. 100% him of, you know what? I want to talk to you and I think you're an interesting and fascinating person and I want to learn more about you.
That's awesome that he does that. What caught me with him is most people when they come, I tell them my name and they'll go straight to Travis and Tavis and stuff like that. He was the only person that remembered my name and kept calling my name correctly, and that means a lot to me because I hear it wrong so many times. I can tell somebody, "Hey, my name is Tavis," and then two
Davis, yeah.
seconds later, Travis, oh Tavis, and I be like, "I just told you." I didn't have people come on the show and call me. I was like,
Right. So can you get my name right on my own show, please?
so I was like, okay. But that meant a lot to me. It may seem small, but it's important to me. And he made me feel welcome by doing that. And
Mhm.
because I traveled all the way up to Virginia to take the class, and I felt welcomed and stuff like that in the class. And he made everybody feel welcome and part of the group. And it wasn't just everybody just coming to a class. We felt kind of like a family, even though we were there a couple
Mhm.
days, and then you
Mhm.
came in, and it I enjoyed the class and the atmosphere, and just his personality just made it fun. So
Aw, thank you. We appreciate that.
yeah,
That's what we want. We want, hey, if you're coming to a class of ours, you're always family, and we always say the lines of communication are always open. Whatever you're doing, you text, call, whatever you need to do. You're always going to be a part of OVS.
as far as your point of view, what have you had to improve about yourself to make the partnership work at a high level?
Anger management. when I'm a very I'm a highly competitive person. I think it's sports at a very young age. I played in college, and I think just you work so hard and you put your heart and your soul and everything into it, and you can have six people crush that so quickly. And I think just being able to handle that and then channel it into a different. I mean, not to say I don't get frustrated, but sometimes I'll have to shut that door and I'll just need to let it out with him. But I think just being able to be like, you know what, let's channel this in a different way so that we can improve upon what we're going to do next time. Or sometimes just take that really hard look and say, but was it exactly what we thought? Did we really think that was going to be a 180? Okay, maybe not. Maybe we could have tweaked it this way or that way instead. So I think that's something that really I kind of had to kind of be like, you know what, sometimes and just realize we're not always going to win every competition and it's not always going to turn out the way we want, but if there's something that we can learn for the next time, then it'll just make us better.
Let's hear your perspective as a woman in competition barbecue. What has your
Hmm.
experience been like as a woman in competition barbecue?
I think it's sometimes the perception of, as far as women in barbecue, sometimes it's, oh, we are the spouse, and so we just tag along because we don't have anything else to do. We're just there to make a box and to turn in a box. But when you talk to most of the spouses or females as part of this team, we are so much more in barbecue. The tough part about KCBS is there's one pitmaster that's listed for a team. And that's really difficult because there's so many female pit masters out there that we're not the head cook for a team. But could we be head cook of a team? Yes. Do we do as much as our spouses or our teammates? Yes. So I think that sometimes that's the misperception at first. And until people really get to know you or really see what you're doing and what you're all about. And then when you start talking about your cook, or you start talking about the process, or somebody says, "Hey, what's in your sauce?" and Luke comes to me going, "Kim, what's in your sauce? I have no idea what's in it." That then I think people start to understand, and they get it after a while, and they're like, "Oh, okay, she's really a part of the team." And I think Luke has been really a big part of that too, and really saying, "Hey, no, Kim is not just here to put the kale in the box and that's it. She's a part of everything. You've got to see her out there with her little paintbrushes when she's cleaning up a box, or she's sitting there to the second making sure to turn something in the can, or to check the color, or hey, I need to spritz something right now." So he's really
Exactly.
good about that too, as far as talking about that.
It's definitely important, and most of it is a stereotype.
Hmm?
Much anything that he could do, you could do, and you've proven it. And like you said, he speaks up for you, which he's supposed to
He
do.
does.
And you already, based on the results, it's working. Based on y'all
Hmm.
flow, I've been a trailer with y'all, so I know both of y'all are doing the work, and you
Oh
doing your
yeah.
part, and he's doing his
Yep.
part. And especially being a married couple is the best because you know the person, you know how they think, you know how to calm them down, you know how to, and it is there's certain parts that men are strong at as well as certain parts that women are strong at, and y'all use those to y'all advantage and get the results. So
Yeah, we do that. I mean, our team is so much a we. It is 100% we. When we talk about OVS, we're talking about the both of us all the time. It's never just him. And he always talks. He always goes, "Kim, sometimes I do feel bad because I am the head cook for the team, and a lot of people will come to me for questions." And I think because he does talk me up, and now I do have more people coming to me. Some people will come to me and be like, "Hey, talk to me about your chicken process. You taught it in class and I have a question." And if he wasn't there being my biggest supporter, and I'm being his biggest supporter, I don't think that we would happen as much.
I definitely noticed it. That's why I was like, I got to get her on the show because a lot of people don't see her point of view of what she does. So I got to let her explain what all she do so they'll know
Sure.
without
No, and I,
question.
I appreciate having this opportunity. Hey, power to all the female pitmasters out there. Yes.
Definitely. All right. And where do women bring an edge or strength to a team that maybe isn't talked about enough?
I think a lot of times we tend to be sometimes a lot of us are like the quiet people in the background
Mm,
that are doing that. And I think the more that we can get out into the forefront, again, we don't have to be the head cook. I'm not saying that, but
yeah.
the more that we could just be a part of everything that's going on, in KCBS and with the team and being a part of that, I think that helps. And I think it's just kind of talking it up, having a presence, encouraging more people to get involved. And I mean, and the great thing is like we're seeing more women coming to our barbecue classes, which has been awesome and amazing because it is primarily male dominated, but having more females out there and asking questions. And I love it when other women come up to me and are be like, "Hey, how did questions like you're asking me, like how did you get started, and what was the best, if I want to get started, what's the best thing that I could do right now, what's something that I can do and get started?" And I love that aspect of it when people come and ask me that question, because I will be an open book to anybody that wants to get started doing this.
Yeah. And how do you stay balanced when it comes to all this? Because you got a full time job and you compete. How do you find time for free time? And what do you do for free? What do you do in your free time that you enjoy?
Oh, in my free time, I spend a lot of time with my family. I love to be outside. So that's why I think barbecue is great, because we can be outside and we're at a campground and we're doing things. So I think it's just being able to, I think not, we don't compete every weekend. There was a time that it was like, I think we did like 14 competitions in a row. So I think it's having a balance of let's go compete and then let's have some free time. So I think being able to be outside and just being able to enjoy family and friends, and sometimes having some days where it's like, "Hey, we're not going to talk about barbecue today, or we're not going to do anything with barbecue," because it's usually on the top of our mind and it's a topic we talk about in the house all the time. But I think it's being able to just go out and do other things with friends and family, I think is really important. And but that's the balance, because And also, I'm a person that is constantly on the move. I am not a homebody by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I always say, if I could just have a trailer and be out and travel all the time, then I would be 100% happy with that. So, being a school counselor where you're constantly on your feet and moving and thinking quickly, and then barbecue, I think are hand in hand in so many ways. It's when I'm with the kids or with I'm in the trailer. I should say my big kid in the trailer. um, I think it's constantly just problem solving and being able to do that, being able to pivot quickly when there's a problem. So I think because of my job in the trailer and the barbecue team, and then my job for my other salary, I think they work really well together. So when I can have that downtime, I think it's so important just to be able to be outside and just enjoy all the people that are around you and all the blessings that we have.
Yeah, I got a quick question, and then I'm gonna play a couple games with you and get you out of here. If you had to create an
Sure.
all-star team, you
Whew.
and three other pit masters to cook a contest, and we're gonna take Luke out the equation, and you're gonna cook chicken. What are the other three pit masters that you're gonna choose, and what meat are they cooking?
Wow. Wow. Okay, that's a really tough one. Um, gosh, wow. That's a really, really tough question. Um, I don't know if I could really pin that one down. There's certain people that I would want to be around me just because I mean, one person that I really, really love is Bill Gillespie. Bill and Sean Gillespie, like I would have, I would want to be with them in a heartbeat because they're fun, they're nice, they're kind, they are so good at what they do. I look up to them as far as what Luke and I are.
Hmm.
So I would definitely say, Bill and just his consistency and just his knowledge. He knows more about barbecue than most people have he's forgotten most about barbecue than most people know. So I think, being a part of that. um if I could have, I love from Lucky's Q, the McGlons, Justin and the Lucky and Kate. Kate McGlon, I would have in my trailer any day of the week, and also with Justin too. I think that they're just fun people. They were with us when we were cooking the Invitational at the Royal, and that was just some of the best times that we have ever had cooking was when they were in their trailer. And definitely miss seeing them out on the circuit like we used to. So I would love to be with them or have them. I mean, of course, Darren Worth, I would love cooking with him. Love having Brad there. Joe Pierce. I mean, Brian Corbett. I mean, I could just sit, because he's such a good friend. He keeps Luke like nice and steady throughout everything. I mean, there's so many people. David Moore are there are our newer friends on the barbecue circuit, and their passion in being newer team with this. We love cooking with them. I mean, him and Brian Corbett are two of the smartest people in barbecue as far as just being able to talk with them and go through things. I mean, I love Timmy. I mean, from Blues Hog. I mean, I love him. He calls me G all the time, and so it's really hard to like say who would cook what meat or anything. But
Exactly.
any of those people, I mean, if they said, "Hey Kim, would you join my team?" I would be really proud to be with honestly any one of them.
You got a whole football team.
I do, seriously. It's really hard to narrow it down because there's so many people that have been super helpful through us, throughout the years. I mean, shoot, if you want to have a good time, shigging and grinning, oh my goodness. If you want to party while you're cooking, I mean, go join their team. I mean,
Well, definitely would do. That's the answer. I mean, that's your answer. That's your answer.
that's the all-star team, man. If I had to put an all-star team together, there we go.
All right, I'm gonna play a quick game and get you out of here. I call this
Sure.
the Barbecue Therapy Smoke Showdown, and I came up with a bracket of 16 meats that you cook on the grill, and I'm gonna give you each matchup, and just tell me which one you prefer to eat, and we'll see which one comes out the winner. Matchup one is
Okay.
brisket versus hot dog.
Brisket.
All right. Next matchup is smoked chicken versus pork chop.
Smoked chicken. I love a good whole smoked chicken on the love that.
Pork ribs versus lamb.
Pork ribs. Not a huge lamb fan. Too gamey for me.
Me too. Steak versus pork belly.
Steak, ribeye, all day.
Beef ribs versus barbecue shrimp.
Ooh, I would have to do shrimp. I love seafood.
Oh, wow. All right. Hamburger versus smoked bologna.
Hamburger,
Sausage versus smoked ham.
sausage,
And smoked turkey versus burnt ends.
bird tens.
Okay.
That was a tough one.
Next matchup is brisket versus smoked chicken.
Brisket, brisket. I'll go brisket.
Pork ribs versus steak.
Ribs, ribs,
And shrimp versus hamburger.
shrimp.
Okay.
I know it's odd.
Sausage and burnt ends.
Burn ends,
Okay. And final four, brisket versus pork ribs.
brisket,
And shrimp versus burnt ends.
shrimp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love seafood. My dad used to own a seafood restaurant at one point, like a raw bar, and I love that.
The finals is brisket versus shrimp.
Okay, brisket. Brisket.
Brisket is the winner. All right, and
Ding, ding, ding. Brisket wins.
all right, Miss Kim, your therapy session is over. If you got anything to promote or anything you want to say, you could definitely do that.
You know what? I definitely I want to say thank you very much for having me on. It was very much an honor. I was so pleasantly surprised that you asked me. So I really appreciate the time, and your questions were wonderful. Always want to thank our sponsors and our partners in what we do. So if I forget somebody, please forgive me. But definitely want to thank Blues Hog. I want to thank Snake River Farms. I want to definitely thank Barbecue Data, Big Papa Smokers. I want to thank Traeger is a big partner of ours. Yeti is a big partner of ours. We couldn't do this without having their support and having their help. So again, I apologize if I've forgotten somebody along the way, but if we didn't have those sponsors, it would really be hard for us to go out and do what we do as often. So
Yeah.
and thank you for what you do and getting our love of barbecue out there on out online. And it's just wonderful that we have other people that can really be involved with this and have a love and a passion for it just like we do. So thank you for what you do, Tavis.
No problem. I mean, you'd asked me a year ago because this didn't even exist. Because I'm like, it's been 11 months and I didn't release 48 episodes, and I'm like, I didn't think I'd be going this path, but I mean, I like it. It's different. I get to bring people's story out to everybody and do it my way, and people's been receptive to it, and it's it's been great. And I try to do things different and get people different voices that people don't hear from a lot, or because a lot of people have the same people, and there's so many people out there in different avenues, and there's so many people that may be in a position that be stuck on the fence about getting into something, and they may have a rub or want to do a restaurant, and just hearing somebody's story may motivate them to get out there and do their dream. And that's what I want to happen, just to kind of help people, motivate them, and hear other people's stories, as well as promote to some of the good people in barbecue. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. And you're one of those people that I felt that need to be heard, and there's other people that assist with their husbands and stuff like that. And just hearing your story and what you do and what you bring to the table may inspire other people. So I definitely appreciate you. It just popped in my head in January, and I fumbled around like, nah, she ain't gonna do it. She ain't gonna do it. And then a couple weeks ago, I was like, let me just send a text and see what happens. Here we
Like I
are.
said, I mean, I was so shocked. I said, me? He wants me? Are you sure? He doesn't want to talk to you? And he's like, no, he wants to talk to you. And I was like, I said, if my story can help somebody else to go out there and do this and to try it out. I mean, I hope so. I hope that this helps somebody, and it
Yeah.
might help some other female pitmasters
Hmm.
or spouses to go out there and be like, you know what, I really want to learn about this. And it doesn't have to be anything big. Just go out there and start it if this is something you love to do, and that
Exactly.
because you never know where it's going to take you. I love the fact that there are friends that we have across the country that we never would have met if barbecue hadn't brought us together. And
Exactly.
I'm so thankful for that, and it opened up a whole world that just never knew was even out there or possible. And the fact that you are making it so accessible for everyone is such a big boost to what we do, because
Yeah.
we want barbecue to keep going, and we want KCBS to be popular, and we want people to be able to join in, have it be welcoming for anybody who loves it as much as we all do.
Every little part is important, and nobody's bigger than another area. So they're like we all one family, and that's pretty much it. I definitely
Yeah.
appreciate y'all for welcoming me in and allowing me to come into the truck during one of the biggest competitions of the season.
We had a lot of fun with you, and we were so happy, and you were so helpful. You were great. You're like, all right, what can I do? Let me get my hands dirty. If you need me, I got you. And we really appreciated that, because there were some times that we really needed your help, and you were great. And we loved having you in the trailer. And so I'm glad that you were able to be a part of it, and you could, see the Royal and just see the electricity and the excitement that's all around the Royal.
Yeah.
It's like nothing that anybody could ever experience. We always say, hey, if you get a chance to go to the Royal, have a
Yes.
good time. It doesn't matter if you didn't qualify for the Invitational. Go to the Open and experience it and take it all in.
Yeah,
We're in that barbecue snow globe. Enjoy it.
exactly. Or at least
And
just
we loved it. Yes, and we loved having
definitely
you.
just coming on the show. I mean, it meant a lot to me. Just I was so excited when he said yes. She's coming. She's excited.
Thank you.
All
I
right,
was,
no
like I said,
problem.
I
All right.
was very, very honored. So I appreciate you. So thank you for having me on.
I've built something onto my podcast that every barbecue brand should be a part of. It's called the Barbecue Therapy Smoke Showdown Bracket. 16 meats you cook on the grill go head to head, and every guest picks their winner. It's one of the most engaging parts of the show. Every guest plays, and every listener loves it because no two brackets are the same. Now I'm opening it up for a presenting sponsor, meaning your brand becomes part of the segment every single show. This isn't just an ad, this becomes part of the show. And if you're interested, reach out to Tavis Bryant at barbecuetherapypodcast@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for another therapy session. And remember, like, follow, and subscribe to help the barbecue therapy community. And also visit our website at www.barbecuetherapypodcast.com.